A very interesting topic and very lengthy topic, that is web service transformation. This is by using API and REST API, how can we connect? We see here. So whenever we are doing any service request from, uh, if suppose if we want to purchase something, we give a request, then they will give the response. So this request and response will through we get in the uh, uh, communication. Okay, the client will ask the request and the server will give the response in the specified format, that is maybe HTML, image, videos, JSON files. Now here we get the status code also. So the status code 200 means success, 404 means error. We see this. Okay. Before going that, we have a knowledge on API, means REST API. So the API is nothing but application programming interface, and REST API means representational state transfer interface between, which is a interface between client and server, is REST API. Okay, we see which is in the CAI process. Now we see in the web service transformation. Okay, the first step we have to do here. Uh, so we have to get the endpoint URL to get a response. So now we select our APIs, which is available in the uh, our Google, means sample endpoint URLs. So which gives the data. With the data, we are storing into the target table. So how can we do? We see. So before that, we have to give the connections for our Informatica cloud services. Then we do have 10 steps here. We see each one by one, and according to that, okay, these are the steps we are having. The endpoint URL to get the response, the sample endpoint URL. I'm taking here HTTP simple books API glitch me books. Okay, we see here this one. Uh, Go to web service. So these are the information is available in the JSON file format. So ID, name, type available. These are the books information in the there in the uh, our open source URL. So now we have to create endpoint URL, get response, and then the second step we have to see that API is working or not. Which is the API of the simple books API. So which is working or not, we see. So this can be check in the Postman, using Postman. We have to download Postman first. We have to download Postman. Go to here, we see. So we download Postman Windows 64, and right click on this and you install it. You go to the Postman. This will created our desktop icon. We test here first. We test here our API URL, which is working or not, and is getting the data is correct or not from the API link. So we see. I will check this one. So I am seeing that books information is coming or not. Okay, which is giving the result. This we see here status code is 200 is okay, and it is giving that results. So now what to do? We go for our next step. Create a Swagger file and download JSON file. So the Swagger file means it, which is a it helps to users to build, document, test, and consume RESTful web services. Swagger is a specification for documenting REST API. So it specifies the format, URL, method, and representation to describe REST web services. So a Swagger file is a JSON file format. It is mandatory to have a Swagger file to configure IICS REST V2 connection to integrate with any REST API. So we have to create a Swagger file and download the Swagger file. So for this, we have to go for our step three. Go to integration services. So here in the administrator, we have to create a connection first. So the our REST v2 connection, we have to add the connectors, uh, and we have to do login to IIS, and we do there and go to administrator. Here add-on connections we go, add-on connectors we go here. So here we type REST, REST v2. So now we select this one. Yeah, I already selected. That's why I install. You select this one, it will be automatically added to this one. Okay. In the fourth step, Uh, we have to create a Swagger file. So Swagger file, we check here. We go to here Swagger file and go to new. Go to new, and we have to give the name. We have to give the name. You see here, we have to create a Swagger file, and we give the name here, our Swagger file name. So the Swagger file name is books. Now we give the books here. We give the books, and we select the environment here, which is laptop, and we have to give the URL, only URL. This one, ABI glitch me, and we give the same get and response. Okay. And we see here, if we have username password authentication required, we give the authentication. This is open one now, so no need of giving username and password here. Accept application JSON. So here operation ID we have to give, which is books. Operation ID is which is a books, and save this. We have to save, and after saving we get like this, books, and we have to download this Swagger file by clicking here. By clicking here, we download the Swagger file. It will come books.json, books.json, which will keep in our source file location, which location we are storing all source file, that will be stored here. So books.json, we have to save here. Then we have to create an input file. This is an empty file. For our connection, we follow this input file, web.txt. In that, we have to give port, just port, and we give the simple books API glitch me. The in just information I'm passing this one. We have to give this one in the web.txt file. These are okay. Web.txt file we are using. Now we see here, the web.txt and books.json is created. Then we create our REST v2 connection. Our REST v2 connection. Go to connections. Uh, I already created REST v2. So now I will show. Go to REST v2. Go to edit. Then that we have to give REST V2 a type. We select here REST V2, and we have to select our runtime environment, and authentication also we select here. Authentication type we have to give none basic. So we have basically we give none. So the Swagger file path we have to specify here, which is MP very important here. The Swagger file path books.json we are creating, and we no need to give anything, and do the test connection. Do the test the connection. The connection was successful. So like if this comes, then only we will get the information from the here, and we create now business service component. Mm, Now we create, go to data integration services. Now we create a business service component, like we are seen already ISM, like that we created in the earlier videos, flat fixed with go to components, and we created like that. We will create now, go to components and create a business services. Create business service. So business service name we have to give, that is BS for books, business service for books, BS for books we are giving. So we select the connection REST v2, and we do save here. So okay, select operation, select, we select books here, okay, and select. So we have selected books and click on OK. Okay, and click on save, which will be saved. So in order to read the data from public API, we have to load into one table. We have to load into one table. So we have seen the structure by using here, by using this create table T underscore API books. Uh, we are creating one target table in the core schema. Target table in the core schema. Already I created, and I will show the data how it is stored in that. And we have to load the table. So we go to the mapping now. These are the informations we have already created our business service, business service for books, and just we go getting select operation, and we are selecting books, and just we leave it here, and go to new, and go to mappings, go to mappings, go to mappings, create m underscore, create m underscore web service, web service for books we create. And here we select source and target. Source is our flat file connection. We select source, here laptop flat file, and we select our web.txt file here. Here we select our web.txt, web.txt, and we go for web services, and we have to create a web service here. Web service, web services. Now go to incoming fields. So port we are having. Okay, go to web service and select our web service here. So we have saved in dev region. So BS for books we are created, and we have to select our business service. Okay, and then uh, request mapping, response mapping. We see here the data is connected or not, and we go request mapping. Incoming fields port web.txt. Request map port response mapping output fields incoming fields we are having strings. So we have to select books here. That's why it is not showing the data. I'm looking for the data. Okay, and we go for request mapping. So we have to map this port to request port. This port to request port, and response mapping we are having. Okay, we got error code error message advanced. There is no response fields. Okay, incoming fields. Click on save. Okay, web services. BS for books. I am selecting here. Request mapping. We got the request port, and there is no response fields. It's having output fields. So books.json already there. Response mapping. Web services. We're having that. Okay, business services mapping can also done. Go to web services. In incoming fields, we are having port and web services. We have selected. We got request, and here we do get the like response mapping, and right click on. We have to map all descendants. We get here response 200 here, root 200, and so in the target we map here all the field mappings. So we map ID to ID, name to name, type to type. So in the core schema we see here, but table name is T underscore API books. Select star from T underscore API books. So already this data is there. We have to truncate this data. Truncate table T underscore API books. Now the data is not there. Then we go to this one, and here we click on run. Click on run. Go to my jobs. So click on refresh button. It's running. So the data is like here, the Russian fiction true, to just I am non-fiction false. Like that we are having the data. So the data has to go and store in our target table. So it has to get from the web server. So that's why it is taking time, which is very important thing. So one source and six output data we got. So now we see select start from. So the Russian fiction, all the data whatever we seen here in the web page, that has going to store in our target database, a target table. Like this, we will use web services for CA process. Okay, please subscribe and like. Thank you very much.